my best girlfriend invited me to come out and spend the weekend at her grandmother's, and I met Uncle Nugie. He was the star of the family, seemed like. I had heard a lot about Uncle Nugie, and so anyhow, he took us back to school after the weekend was over, and then later he had his niece ask me if I would consider dating him. I was very surprised because he's Uncle Nugie. And I said, well, okay. So we went out a few times, about every weekend, and he called me almost every day. And so every free chance we got together and went out when I could. Well, anyhow, I did date him, but I had friends, and I had dated, and there was a fellow that I used to was a pen pal with, and he's American from Arkansas, and he went to Venezuela to do some petroleum engineering work, and then we happened to be on the same airplane and got acquainted, and anyhow, he was coming through to Tulsa to go back home during that time that I was graduating, and he said he wanted to take me out and to go eat at Bishop's restaurant in Tulsa. And so Eugene happened to be working that night, and so I didn't find it necessary to tell Eugene about that. It was just new in our relationship and stuff. So anyhow, the seniors was to do a maple dance at Utica Square. And so in the midst of my maple dance, I spotted Eugene, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's supposed to be working. But he came to surprise me. Boy, did he ever surprise me. So after the maple dance, I'm thinking, okay, this is the time I'm gonna have to introduce him. So I told Martha, I said, okay, that's his niece. What are we gonna do here? Help me out. And so I sat in the back seat. Eugene offered to take him back to the Mayo Hotel, and he said, no, I'll get a taxi. And I said, no, I'll take you. And so, okay, get ready to get in the car. I got in the back seat with Lynn, and then Martha got in the front seat with him, and we took him to the hotel and then come back, and he brought us back to the school. And Lynn asked me, who is that fellow? And I said, oh, I'm just dating him. He's too old for you. And in the meantime, he's calling me honey, darling, and holding my hand. Oh, geez. But anyhow, yes, I graduated from Montecasino, and then we promised we would write letters to each other, and the romance blossomed through the mail.
She was up here going to school, and she went home, and I figured that's the last time I'd see her until I got a letter from her, and she asked me to come down to Venezuela. So I get me a ticket and I go down there. But before I went to the jewelry store in Tulsa and got her an engagement ring. I said, well, I'll take it down there and try that on her, see if she accepts it. So I put that engagement ring on her finger, and she didn't take it off and throw it across the room. And if she had of, I'd have been on the next plane coming home.
Yes, when my family down there met Eugene, they loved him. They thought he was just wonderful, and thought he was so handsome that he looked like Gary Cooper. Yes. Then 4 months later, we got married. He came back to Venezuela. We had to marry twice in Venezuela. You had to marry by civil, and then you married by church.
Went to get married, and the only one that could speak English down there was the bishop, so he married us. And there's a bunch of people come in the church, see what's going on.
At the church that we married him, there's so many people getting married. There was lots of weddings. Yeah, there's several weddings, and so that's why there was a lot of church full of people. But I was on cloud 9 walking down the aisle at the church, just, what am I doing here? This is different. It's going to be so different. But I knew I loved him, and he looked so handsome up there, and I was so proud. He's mine. He's going to be mine. And it just, I was walking in cloud 9, and so tickled for my dad to walk down the aisle with me and take me down. The family loved Eugene and his family, and it was great. It was wonderful. It's beautiful. It was quite a blessing.
Oh, she looked pretty. I don't remember what kind of clothes she had on or nothing like that. She told me to be sure I brought a suit with me to wear, and so I did. And then that's been about the only time she's seen me in a suit.
We went to the house and had the reception at the house, and it was very nice, very nice. And my father come up to me and said, okay, I ran out of the liquor, it's time to go. And he'd already got somebody to take us to the hotel. He took us to the tram that takes us up to the mountains, on top of the mountain was where that new hotel is, the Humboldt Hotel. And of course, Eugene, he had stayed, while I was running around getting ready for the wedding, why he'd stayed at the house, and the uncles was there, and the family fixing up the place. And they were drinking beer, and Eugene's not used to that. Was it 4% beer? Or
I don't know.
It was more powerful than the beer is here. Oh, he was kind of 3 sheets in the wind. Holy cow. Everybody was laughing, and I went, oh my gosh. Anyhow, Daddy had, it was Daddy that furnished the suite for us at the hotel. It was really nice, and it was just like a dream come true from the movies. And I went out to the balcony, and just from one end that I could see to the other end, Caracas laid at my feet, and I bid my country goodbye, and told him I promised I loved it forever. This is my country that I was born in and raised in, and I said it's goodbye, but not forever, always in my heart. And then the next day we went to the other side of the tramway, down the other side, and caught a taxi and went on to the airport. But anyhow, we got to New Orleans. Eugene had a car waiting for us there, and unfortunately we got food poisoning the night that we come in, and so we had originally going to drive to Washington, D.C. and then back to Tulsa.
Oh.
We just went on home. Oh, it was all beautiful. It was wonderful. And anyhow, here we are 60 years later, and 4 wonderful, beautiful girls that we're so proud of later, and brought us grandchildren, brought us son-in-laws and grandchildren. And God was ever so kind in his blessings.
She must kind of liked it up here. She'd been here 60 years. And I don't think you could drag her out of the bottom here. she likes to be here most of the time.
Just be here or being with you?
Well, probably being with me. She's taking good care of me now. I told her, I said, well, they're gonna carry us both out of this old house when we die, because we built it. I laid all the rock and drove over a nail in it, and put the walnut wood up inside. So she liked all that.
What do I call it now?
Huh?
What do I call the house? I call it the house of love.
The house of love. So I expect she'll stay here for a while. I thought she's probably gonna go home, moving her up here in the woods. But she didn't, she stayed. And now you couldn't run her off. So she's still here after 60 years.
How romantic.
There's a faint moon glow on this water. A big wooden chair holds me in my thoughts, and everything is going right these days, and I just wanna give it away. There's a river rippling a whisper. The crickets sing their song to the trees. A place like this will sink down in your soul, and you're only gonna want more. It's times like these that make you slow to creep. They make you wanna breathe in deep, real deep. Oh, it's times like these that make you sing. Wanna believe that there'll be more times like these.
Geez, if Amy and I were to play one-on-one, she is quicker than I am, so I would probably have to play a little off of her, but although she can shoot the ball too, so I would have to definitely use the good old height advantage to help me out a little bit.
We already know who's gonna win though. No, as a matter of fact, all I have to do is pump fake, and I got this guy all day long. All day long. I've seen you run. I'm not worried.
I don't have to run in a half-court game.
Yeah, you have to get back to the thing. I'm telling you right now. The girls all have their money on me too, by the way. We talked about it.
That's fine.
Even your girls.
You guys can
even your players.
It's okay, I'm the underdog. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I think it would be a very good game, but I think I would win in the end. I would definitely win at the end. And I'm sure she said she'd win.
Well, if she beat him, it's not because he let her.
I thought they gave me the wrong baby because she had such chubby cheeks. She has the Selmar cheeks, and but her eyes were squinted, and we thought she was an Asian baby. We thought they switched babies.
I was just very excited, and he looked like his dad.
He did look like an Absec.
He did look like an Absec.
Good or bad, he did.
So yeah, that is
Very excited. Yeah, we didn't know until he was born.
No, yeah,
That was a pretty exciting day.
yeah.
Took her home first night from the hospital, and she didn't sleep through the night, of course. But from the second night on, she went to bed. I fed her at 8 o'clock and didn't wake up until 8 o'clock the next morning. And she did this the whole time.
He didn't sleep much for a long time. Yeah.
Didn't sleep, and then we finally got some friends invited us over to their place on the beach. And we took him out there, remember? And then he slept, and after that, we kind of kept him in the house all the time because it was winter. And so he never slept. And then we finally got him out and got him some fresh air. And then that helped a lot.
We started going, for walks and different things, and then he'd started sleeping. It was a long time before he slept.
Yeah, we walked a lot of circles.
We walked a lot of circles in that little apartment, yeah.
Amy loves to eat. Amy no miss a meal, no miss a snack, no miss a lunch, no miss a supper.
That was her name. When I came, that's what they told me. I'm like, her name is who? I said, we gonna get along good. Hey, eat, hey, drive-through. I'm the drive-through queen. I don't cook.
He didn't eat really good either.
No, not for a long time.
Except for sweets. He liked the sweets and get all fired up, and then we had to kind of cut that back real fast.
Yeah.
But he was always full of energy.
Yeah, running, always, on the go and stuff. And but he didn't eat much, but then he finally started eating, and as you can tell, he just kept eating.
Yeah, he liked we finally found him a TV dinner that he liked. Remember the little Salisbury steak
Salisbury
things?
steak. He liked that. So whenever
wouldn't
we'd
eat
have a good
anything
dinner.
we cooked, yeah.
Yeah. If he didn't like it, then we cooked him that. So he ate a lot of TV dinners.
When she was 3 years old, she thought she needed to go help her father. We used to own a restaurant, and she took her tricycle and her little dog and tied him to the back after she was in bed, went on a side street, and then hit the major highway in Siloam Springs, Arkansas. But from then on, Amy knew what she wanted, and whatever she wanted, she went after it, and she worked hard for it.
Kind of a little grown man at times, yeah.
At times. Not always, but at times.
Not always, not always
Not
at
always,
all.
no. He really...
He did a good job with his little sister, yeah.
He liked her, yeah. Called her Iffer. He couldn't say Jennifer, so he called her Iffer. So, yeah. He was a big help. He loved Bob Barker. I remember that.
Yeah.
He would get...
Bob Barker.
I would have the TV on, and he would be like jumping up and down. Bob Barker's on. He'd be screaming. So that was,
That one, and then once they got a little older, they liked the Fraggles. They jump in front of the TV for that one too.
She's always been an athlete. She started playing softball when she was 5 years old. She played for Oklahoma State, played all in high school, and basketball. She loved basketball. She started playing in 3rd grade. She was a jock. She was an athlete. She was my tomboy. I could send her to school, matching bow, socks, decked her out in the cutest of cutest outfits and with little earrings and everything. And her sister the same way, and deck them out for school. Her baby sis would come home just the way she left the house. Amy's hair was all over, the bow missing, dirt all over, and I'm going, what happened? She goes, well, we had a football game on, at recess, and
Matter of fact, when he was 5 months old, he was at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Remember, we took him down there. We went to Yankee Stadium and watched the Yankees play somebody.
Yeah.
So he's been an avid sports fan and played all the sports, since he could move. We had him playing, doing stuff, whether it be t-ball or youth basketball, football, everything. Everything. Loved every minute of it.
Yeah. He was good, yeah.
Good athlete.
He was good, yeah. And he loved it, yeah.
Amy and her sisters, they were girls. And her sister was a snitch. And she came and told me that Amy is faking a shower. Amy's going I made her, I went up and I said, you can't be telling me the truth. And I went up and I opened the door and she, I said, get in there. And she was so mad at me. I made her walk around the mall with the sign that says, I don't like to take baths. And I made her sister walk around the mall with, I don't like to brush my teeth. We're in the mall walking and people are looking and making comments. You do what you're supposed to do. I know I probably would have went to jail, child abuse, but it worked. She bathes every day. Megan, Can't tell her teeth are perfect. I did my job, and I'm very proud. I love you, girls.
He got into a lot of trouble
Yeah, he
at
was.
different times. Oh yeah,
He
he
was-
was a normal, I think.
You have a normal
No.
kid growing up. Didn't do a lot of renegade type stuff.
No.
But every once in a while, he'd catch himself doing something wrong, and he got in a fight with a pole at the barber shop one time and couldn't get away from it, and rang up the truck a little bit. Those types of things, but not too bad.
No, not.
Not a lot of discipline. Played, and I think the athletics played a big part of that too.
Yeah.
That they had their code and kind of better stay out of trouble, and he had to work hard for his grades to keep into the sports.
Yes, he did.
And he did that.
And he golfed. He
Golfed
loved
too,
to
yeah.
golf. Yeah.
A lot of enjoyment going to watch him play
Yeah.
in all the sports.
We
Charm
wanted
school.
manners, charm school, and Nordstrom's had a charm school back in the day, and Miss Wright took them every week, and it was like pulling our teeth.
Yeah, if you'd have sung charm school, that was a waste of, it was a waste of money.
We tried.
Oh, what we tried. Some children just don't take well to charm school.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of fishing together
Yeah. Up the river.
up the river, and then earlier than that, we did a lot of trolling for blueback at Grandpa's place, Grandma and Grandpa's place, and we always had fun doing that.
Camping. We always went camping. Even if we didn't fish, we just would go find a spot and park our trailer. And
Camping, play some wiffle ball, and
Yeah.
then it rained, and then we go back in and play play Candyland or something like that.
Yeah.
But we always had a good family,
yeah.
good family fun.
She could detect a Dairy Queen miles away, and her grandpa, Campbell, would like to take her to Dairy Queen. And then her father, Arlie, always would take Amy special places, and they'd go to the park, or they'd go, there was times,
Sneak to the movies. I'm a witness.
yes, he would pick her up from school and sneak her to the movies. And I'm going, she needs to be in school. He loved her so much. He loved her. I know he's watching from above, and I know he's happy as all get out. There's certain things that happen, and it's like, okay, we know you're here. We know you're somewhere.
I have watched her from the age of 9 until today, and I have so much love and respect for her. I'm not always her best friend. I'm not a friend at all, but she doesn't always like everything that I tell her, which doesn't faze me, because I'm not your friend. I'm going to tell you what God loves, and that's the truth. And I love you, and I'll do whatever I can for you. But, hey, you got to listen to me. I know. Oh.
You are so bad.
Hey, you know my girl. We just had a relationship. I put her online so she can get some dates with some guys. I put her online. Yes, I did. Thank me, Barry. Send me my check. I guess the rest is history. It'd be $24.95. $24.95 plus tax.
We met online through Plenty of Fish. We kind of emailed back. She emailed me first. Yes. Yes. And then, so then we emailed back and forth for a long time. I think it was February 13th when we started emailing. It happened to be Mrs. Wright's birthday. And then we emailed back and forth for a while. And I actually asked her out for the next day. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. She had other plans. But then on February 20th, we got the opportunity to go on our first date. I actually got to go watch her coach. She invited me to the game. And
which I never do. I never have people I date go to the games. Because, like, I don't know you that well. My players are kind of like my kids. I'm with them probably more than their own parents. And so I'm just real particular. But I don't know. I don't know what made me decide to invite him. I have no idea. And he asked me out on his birthday, which is the 14th. And I was like, we just started talking, like, that's pretty quick. But I didn't set up my profile till 13th. Miss Wright had gone on and said, oh my God, I've met your husband. And it was actually someone else. It wasn't him. And so, but whenever I set up my profile, I was, scanning through or whatever. And I think my thing was teammate looking for, or
Coach looking for a teammate.
Coach looking for a teammate or something like that. And so then I came across his picture, and he looked like he had a lot of fun, and he liked sports and stuff like that. So we started talking, and then I was supposed to go out with a different guy on the 14th, and then my dog got sick. So then I didn't end up going, and then I went out with him a couple days later.
I thought she was very, very pretty and very cute. And I was very excited and anxious about it. Kind of like the butterfly thing, I'm kind of excited for the first date.
I came out of the gym and we had lost our CIF, which is playoffs game, to a team that we should not have lost. So I was a little frustrated, but now I have to go on a date. So I'm like, okay, switch it over. And I walk out, he has on the infamous black tennis shoes. I am a tennis shoe snob. It's like I am a Nike snob. And these were like the ugliest shoes I'd ever seen in my life. But that wasn't even the topper. So we'll move up, the ground up. He had on these white wind pants that looked like they had been balled up like in the corner of his room. And he had on a blue Gonzaga pullover, and it's because it said Bulldogs. Like you could tell that he had thought about, okay, Bulldogs. And then his hair was kind of like all over the place. He had like a big, thick beard. And I remember thinking, this is not who I saw on the picture. And so we went out and we had really, really good conversation.
It's a great time.
But Barry is a toucher. So I don't like to really be touched. Which is weird because my family's big touchers, just always. And so Barry held my hand the entire meal. And I was so uncomfortable because I don't like to be touched. Anyways, I've just really kind of met you. I'm sweating. And I've never been so happy to see my food come because I was like, whew, I can let it go. But conversation was so smooth. There was nothing, we talked about everything.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of different stuff. But,
yeah.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, and then he walked me to my car and he kissed me. And I was like, so I quickly got in my car and drove off, and I was like, oh my God, he kissed me. And he said that
Well, I thought I kind of made a mistake at that point. So on my way home, I was like, dang it, I ruined this great opportunity. I cannot believe this happened. And then she called me later that night.
I was like, thank you so much. I really had a good time, and
made my nerves kind of calm down.
Yeah, but I was panicked. I was like, oh my God, this guy reached in, just took charge. Holy crap. So, but yeah, we went out again, not too long after that, Saturday.
About a week after, went putt-putt golfing.
Yep.
And then about a month later, we became an item, and been together pretty much ever since, so.
True story.
Many times, many fun times. What an amazing person Amy is, and I fell in love, and I was like, wow, I'm in love. And this is who I want to be with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, he said, I love you pretty quick. And I was like, It took me a little bit longer. I need to know for sure how this is going to work out. And I remember Aunt Kathy telling me, you need to take a step out on faith, Miss Ray too. If this is who you really want to be with, you have to kind of just put it out there and put it up for God and, work it out together. And I remember Aunt Kathy asking me, does he love you? I said, yes. I have no doubt in my mind he loves me. Will he be a good father? Yeah, I have no doubt he'd be a good father. She goes, that's all you need. You can teach him the rest. And I said, okay.
And she's doing a good job of that.
Yeah, she's doing a great job with Uncle John. Love you, Uncle John. So the first time, it's kind of a funny story.
Funny story, tell it, yeah.
The first time I told Barry I loved him, I didn't realize I told him I loved him. I was on some muscle relaxers for my back.
In fact, you were in Tulsa.
And I was in Tulsa. I guess I had told him I loved him. I don't remember it. So he's telling me this later. He's like, I can't believe you finally told me you love me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so then we figured that I'm not allowed to take the muscle relaxant with some sleeping pills because it just doesn't work out well. I haven't done it since. But
and she still loves me, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Supposedly. We'll see. We'll know on the 7th, I guess.
Amy is my glue. She's my stuck-on glue. Every time I turn around, she's there. And I don't mind But I told her I'm giving her to Barry for 2 pigs and a hog, and he's paid, so I have to thank him. But I will miss my girl.
Oh, the proposal? Okay, so let's see. It was on Mother's Day, so we're sitting at brunch with everybody. I had this plan that I told her sister about, and I was like, okay, great. This'll work.
I get a call from John. Hey, Amy, you want to go to a hockey game? And I'm like, sure. I didn't even think to ask him. And so I'm like, hey, we're going to a hockey game with John and Judy later. And he has panic written on his face. My sister throws up the menu, and they're like talking back and forth. And I'm like, what the hell? First off, though, when we left the house, though, I said, why are you bringing your man bag with you? Because it's like his coaching bag. It's like, what is up with this man bag? Well, I didn't know if we were coming back. And I'm like, well, your clothes are still in the house?
We went to the hockey game.
And then afterwards he goes, can we go and get like dessert at Yard House? And I was like, I have something important I want to talk to you about. I'm like, okay. So we go, and he brings the man bag in again. And I'm like, what is up with? So I'm thinking now, okay, something is happening here, because you're bringing this man bag with you everywhere. And Yard House is where we had our first date. So we get in there and we sit down, and he looks stressed out.
Presented her with a scrapbook, and then she read it, and then at the end it said, will you marry me? And so it's kind of comical because we were in a booth, and then there was people sitting here, so I was trying to propose to her, and I couldn't quite do it, and I was trying to kneel, and I was anxious, nervous, whatever you want to call it, and I could barely spit the words out. Will you marry me? And then I gave her
No, that is not how that went down. Not at all how that went down. And so I'm looking through the scrapbook, and it has our story of how we met. It's on a fish, and he tells me about how much tape he had to use and how many times he had to go back to Walmart for all the things.
About 10 times.
Yeah, and he's, we're talking about it, and it's all the pictures from like the 2 years kind of. And then the back, it says, will you marry me? So Barry like comes over to my side of the table and is like, he's tall, but there's people behind me. He's like, I love you so much, will you marry me? And like pretty much like throws the ring at me.
Because I slipped.
No, because he was nervous.
I slipped and fell.
And he did not slip and fall. And so, but I like that is what you're trying to go with. He was so nervous, he like basically like threw the ring at me. He didn't like open it, and so I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, thank God. He like sat back down on his side of the booth. And so it's kind of like one of those moments like, did that really just happen? Like, nobody knew we got engaged. No, I mean, when the server came back, I'm like, can you take our picture? We just got engaged. He's like, when? And I'm like, just now. It just happened. But Oklahoma and on the farm is 100% my happy place. I go there and I just feel at peace. And it is the happiest, like people say Disneyland's the happiest place in the world. That's because they've never been to the farm. And it's not like there isn't work to be done, and it isn't like it's, fun time. It's all the memories, it's the fact that my grandfather built that house. It's the fact that I can remember playing in the trees that my nephews are now playing in. I can remember, Mama Nana cooking a bunch of meals. I can remember Mama Nana teaching me how to make my first apple crumb pie from scratch. It's just the talks that I've had with Papa sitting in the recliners. I have a lot of really great memories from there. The fact that my grandparents are both still around, like keeping the memories alive of everything, no matter who you've lost or what happens, just knowing that you have a place to go. And so it's so special. And, I'm very, beyond grateful for both sets of my grandparents and the impact that they've had on me and who I am. Because although I talk a lot about my aunts and uncles, it started with my grandparents. And, just trying to make them proud in everything I do and, every way I live my life.
Amy, thank you so much for always pushing me and always making me a better person. I may not have always liked your suggestions, but you do give me very good suggestions. I'm a better person knowing you. I'm a better person because you're in my life. And I look forward to making a ton more memories with you. And I love you.
One thing that I failed to do in our introduction was to thank Lisa for putting on this show for us. Cindy and I are just here. Lisa, thank you very much wherever you are, and your family for for all the work to get this group done, and we look forward to tomorrow. It does take a village. It takes a village. When I say it took a village, one thing that we forget about is the two little sisters in the village. I don't know how it was at your house, Megan, but there was no mercy on little sister. Whether we played wiffle ball in the backyard, Candyland, chutes and ladders, one-on-one, anything. We didn't play for second place. So, Jen, thanks for all you've done to make Barry what he is today. Barry, thank you for what you've done to make her what she is today. We go back to April, or let's see, when was it? February, I guess. February of 1981. A couple families had life-changing events. One for us, one for you. But the most important thing that happened in February of 1981 was some friends of ours named Kool and the Gang. Their number one song was "Celebrate," and part of the words, first words of that song, we're going to have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So one of the things that we want to do, and hopefully the DJ's got that on his list, is if DJ plays Celebration tomorrow, everybody's up. And we're going to celebrate and dance and pick them up. Monty said he would really bust some moves tomorrow night if that came on there. Yeah, we're going to have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. Jesse, we wanted to thank you for coming. Jesse was our neighbor growing up, or his grandmother was our neighbor growing up. One of my very first memories of Jesse was he and Barry sitting in the big easy chair, in my big chair, watching cartoons on a Saturday morning. Bugs Bunny comes on. Jesse slips and says, "I love Bugs Bunny." I've called him Bugs for 30 years. Compassionately known as Bugs. Little accident in the back. We go back to when Barry was born. Cindy and I were pretty excited. Barry, I didn't bring the big oldie mug. Mom wouldn't let me pack it. When Barry was born, we filled the big oldie mug up with beer, and Grandma owned it, and I drank it. Twice. Didn't recognize her when we went back to the hospital to check on her that night. When we got to the hospital the next day to take Barry home, the nurse came in and says, "We got a problem with his feet." And I don't know if any of you have noticed, but Barry's got pretty good sized feet. So we were a little panicked. You remember when you have kids, they do a little footprint, and they put them on those little cards. They wouldn't fit. So we were the only ones in the hospital that year that went out with a baby, a birth certificate, and luckily the kitchen was open and we had a butcher paper, a big slab of butcher paper with his footprint on it. Still got it today, Barry. I know it's tough to beat the video that we just had, but again, celebration is going to be tomorrow. And so the other part is bring your good friends and your laughter too. We're going to celebrate your party with you. God bless you, and we hope tomorrow's the greatest day in your life. Thank you.
You know, when we were also very excited when Lisa let us know that she was going to be having a baby, because, you know, we didn't have any babies. We had Gina, but, you know, we were so very excited, and we packed her around like none other. Every which way we could get our hands on her to stay the night. Whether she was potty training. My brand new truck. After 2 stops in between downtown Collinsville and the house. Potty, potty, we pulled over immediately. Then there was the Oreo cookie story. What was the one with the cookies where she got up on the counter?
Oh, well, do you want me to tell it?
Tell it.
Okay, I was a senior at the University of Tulsa, and Lisa and Arlie, they were working or had an event or something else like that, and they asked me if I could watch Amy. Well, this couldn't be a worse time for me to watch Amy because I'm preparing for finals. And I said, yes, I'll take her. I'll take her to the zoo, wear her out, and then I'll bring her back, and then I can study. I didn't even let her ride the train at the zoo because I made us walk all the way around the zoo. By the time we got back to the car, the yellow Delta 88, back when you didn't have to wear seatbelts, and she laid down in my lap, and she was out like a light. I thought, awesome, except for I couldn't hardly keep the car on the road. I was so tired myself. I'm sorry. Anyway, I feel bad. I should be in DHS with you, Miss Wright. Anyway, but she was still asleep in my lap when we pulled up to our mobile home, and I thought, I will just quietly get her out of my lap. I'll go get that bed ready. I'll pick her up. I'll put her in the bed, and it'll all be good. And so when I did that, she was sound asleep. I mean, the dead man lift, all the way. The second she hit those cool sheets, boom, hey, Aunt Donna. And I'm like, listen here. Aunt Donna's tired. She needs a nap. I'm so sorry, Amy. And I said, look, you just sit here and watch TV. We are in a mobile home park, okay? It's not the safest place. And anyway, I leave her watching TV. I go and lay down for a little while because I have got finals to do and I need some rest. I am wiped out. When I get back up, she has gotten out the Oreo. She's been all the way through all the cabinets, climbing everywhere. You were 2, I think. And talk about this was not safe for children. Now, I should have never done this. Or she could have left the home, And she was sitting there and had all the snacks in the couch. I did okay on my finals. She was alive. It was all good. That was a good ending to the story. I will do one other little funny on Amy. I'm trying to think. Derek, how far apart are you and Amy? Thank you. 6 years, you have to have them around to do the math after a while. Anyway, 6 years apart in age. And so we have Derek at the hospital, and my sisters had girls, and we have a boy, which we're pretty surprised about, and we're excited, and all this stuff. So Amy, I'll never forget, she has these little coveralls and a little ponytail, like Lisa says. She decked her out when she took her out. And she comes to the hospital. She goes, Aunt Donna, what did you have, a boy or a girl? And I said, we had a boy. She goes, is it black or white? I said, it's white. Now, let me just say the hormones were running a little high at that point. She needed to go ahead and leave. It was just like, what? But she was so innocent and so darling. And that was the start of a great relationship, actually, with Amy and our kids. But that was a very funny story. And the innocence of children, and that they don't see color, and that they just accept and love everyone like they are. And Amy has always been like that, and I appreciate it. It was a precursor for you, Miss Wright. Precursor. Anyway, those are my 2 stories. Gina, keep it clean.
Well, the best one, I don't think she would appreciate me telling, but anyway.
Don't listen to me.
Oh, would you like?
I want you to listen to Aunt Donna.
Oh.
I got a 20 for that story.
we gotta pass the hat here. You might need this money.
True statement.
We have 50.
100.
Well, so let me tell you the story. No, I won't. But let me just tell you, when Lisa had Amy, I was really pretty excited, and I took care of Amy quite a bit, and we were buds. and I dressed her like me. We wore boots. We wore Wranglers. We did cow things. I was in FFA at the time. You know, she was my little buddy. The only bad part about that was every time I'm carrying her around, the people are really looking at me, and they're really looking at her, and then they start looking at Arlie, and then they look at Lisa, and they're back to looking at Arlie and I again, thinking that's their child. Took us a while to get through that. But my other favorite story really about Amy is when Lisa and Arlie split apart and the kids came to live with me at the Rossmore house, and Miss Wright, we let her come. Anyway, I said, all right, here's the deal. You have to have chores. Everybody has to have a job. You have to have chores. I'll pay you an allowance. I can't remember how much it was. $20. Here's the catch. I don't care how you spend this money. Spend it on whatever. Don't spend it at all. If you don't spend it, I'll match it. We can put it in your savings. If you spend it, you have to have a receipt for it. Again, I don't care what you buy, but you have to account for where that $20 came from, so that you know at the end of the week. I didn't mean for you to take that. At the
I'm getting thirsty.
At the end of the week, we would know where that money went, and you know what you spent it on. Okay, here we go. Come back. First week, Amy. Food. $20 in food. Here's Megan. Well, she spent like maybe $5 or $7 or something. She saved the rest. All right, that's fine. Here it is. Next week, another $20, because you got whatever you spent, you got that money replaced. And again, if you saved, I doubled that and gave you the $20. Amy, food. Everything was food. She ate her way through $20 a week.
Coach Murillo worked it off us. I mean, it wasn't like Rotunda in high school. I was running 1,017,000.
And then she was always the con artist that if she didn't get her chores done, her mom would come in there and do them. And I was like, doesn't work that way. You get docked. But she learned.
I was doing a bunch of other. It wasn't like I was sitting on the cow.
Hey, we did it all.
I know.
We milked the cow twice a day.
Twice a day. In the snow.
With barefoot, because we couldn't afford boots.
Play the violin, Aunt Donna.
And you wanted to claim, I had basketball.
I had ASP. I had softball, yeah.
Yeah.
There were no excuses in our
Nope.
for sure.
Nope. But you learned a lot from that.
Just voted well, yes.
For both of you. So you've done well. Proud to see this man right beside you. Very happy for you both. Not sure we ever thought that day was going to come.
If you didn't pray him to you, I certainly did.
Let me say one more thing. Gina alluded to food, and I'll maybe can wrap this up because it's time for somebody else to be up here. But in any event, I do remember the phone call. It was during March Madness, and we were on vacation, and we were on speakerphone with Madison and I, and you were telling me that you thought something.
You freaked out because it went on Facebook and you didn't know.
No, wait a minute. I said, I am going to get friend request Barry real quick, and I go on, it says he already has another friend. And it was Angie Selmeyer. It was not even.
Okay, so anyway, I don't know, we contacted you, you contacted us, or whatever else like that. But one of the things I'll never forget you saying is just, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm just not very hungry. And, you know, it has been well pointed out in the movie and everything else that Amy enjoys a good meal. I do too, by the way. And but she said, I just can't eat. And she said, I just can't stop thinking about him. I mean, like, what is wrong with me? And here's Madison and I. Because we knew that this was someone very, very special, and you had never said that about anyone else. And so, Barry, we knew you were in it like Flint at that point, and we just couldn't wait to meet you, and we're so happy for you, and we wish you every blessing and blessings to come from you.
Go.
Cheers.
We would just like to thank everybody for being here tonight, for our special couple days here that we get to have. We appreciate everybody's traveling over here and all your help and love and support that you have given us, not only tonight but throughout the years. So thank you for everything.
Are you okay? He's definitely going to cry tomorrow. There'll be a couple tears. Is that what you're saying? We'll pass out Kleenexes forever. That should have been our gift. Dang it. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, as I look around the room, I see so many faces that have helped us to become the people we are. Some more newer than others, but no less an impact. And, there are people that have been around our whole lives, and there are people who, like even our bridal parties, they're just, it's from all across the time. And, you have friends along the way that, some stick around and the real ones do. And then the other ones, they kind of pass. And, I read something once that says, you'll never really understand, but God puts people in your life for a certain reason at a certain time. And, I truly believe that, and every person in this room means the world to us. And we really cannot express our appreciation for you guys stopping your daily lives and coming to celebrate with us and be here on this very special day today and tomorrow. And, it's just, like I said, there's just so much love in the room, and that's really important, whether it's the babies running around or the older people who are ready to go, Grandpa,
Big smile on his face.
I know.
Hell, I'm tired.
Hell, I'm tired.
But, one really important person that we're missing tonight is my dad. Well, he's here. I'm telling you, there's been some goofy things that have gone on today. Yeah. My dad was a real goofball and spur of the moment kind of guy. But he 100%, Barry reminds me a lot of him in certain ways. Sometimes the kind that frustrates the hell out of me. But mostly it's his loving, caring nature, and the loyalty and the fact that you're getting a little close to my butt there, bud.
Well, now we're not doing it. Here we go.
But the reality of it is that every person here pretty much has known my dad and has really helped keep that memory alive. My grandpa in the back and then my uncle and aunt are the only ones here from my dad's side. My grandma's not doing real well. So if you guys could pray for her, I'd really appreciate it. But more importantly, it's the fact that we have those memories. And you watch the video and, I'm pretty sure I had to sell a liver for my photographer and videographer, and they've been great. But we're teachers, so we make $1. We should be protesting out here too. But for us, that was something that we definitely wanted because we're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised the rest of today. But it's all the memories that each of you have given us, and something that we'll continue to carry on with us. And I just want to thank all of you for that. And I see Zachary and Xavier back there. Zachary. Yes, I know you're here.
And they remind me so much of my dad sometimes, just their loving nature and just carefree attitude or their stubbornness. And, you know, they're the next generation. And, you know, we're really proud of all of that. And we're really proud of all of you and how you're raising your families and things like that. And I said it earlier at the bridal shower, you know, when you wonder about the next generation, you look around at the people around and how they're raising people, and you know we're going to be okay. But it all started with Mama Nana and Papa and Grandpa and Grandma and, you know, Grandma and Grandpa Absec and Grandma and Grandpa Hubert. And so, you know, and without them, none of us, this would be possible. None of us would be here. But it's the Lord that has really made this all possible. You know, we have to always remember to give glory to Him. So we just want to thank you guys. And I'm not even the Bible thumper of the family, but we want to definitely thank all of you for being here. And tomorrow will be a great time to pray. The only time you'll see me cry. So I won't need the tissues tomorrow. I'll just pass it on over. But there's a bet going on. Yeah, I love you guys too. So we both love you. Thank you guys very much.
You're my favorite.